this is your girl Jamie here, guys. What is going on, J Squad? How are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, and I hope y'all are just staying blessed, man. Definitely stay blessed out there, y'all. Every day above ground is a good one. I say it all the time, and yes. Well, if y'all are new to my channel, welcome, guys. Hey, hit that subscribe button, guys. And definitely, if y'all like this video and all my other ones and want to see them, hit the notification bell and hit that like button, guys. Well, we're going to be talking about Priscilla Presley. If y'all don't know, she's got her new movie just dropped out. It came out, it's at movie theaters right now. It came out October 27th. I personally haven't seen it yet, but I will give y'all, I'm definitely going to sit and watch it, I think, because I just was watching one of her interviews from E.T. Entertainment from back in 2005. Yeah, so it's been a new minute, and she had a different face, kind of like the Kardashians, how they always have a different face. But her face, it was a little different. But her interview, she contradicts herself a lot, man. I had to seriously rewind it quite a few times because I'm like, wait a minute. She just said this, but she just said that. So I'd rewind it, and I was like, yes, she did. And then she goes, she contradicts herself so much in the interview, y'all. It's ridiculous. Okay, I get it. She goes, first of all, she starts out, let's get started here at the beginning of her interview. She says that she was 14 when she first met Elvis, and that Elvis Presley was so insecure and with his music and his movies, and he was so insecure about all of that, and she was the missing glue to the puzzle. She was that missing piece that one last piece that you sometimes just can't find. But she was it. She's the glue that held Elvis together. If y'all believe that, y'all might want to get a psychiatrist, therapist or something, because she is bugging. I can't say, how things quite were back then with her and Elvis because I wasn't alive yet. I wasn't even in the world. Now, interesting enough, though, she says about how the world is, today and how anything goes. Yeah, let me get back to that one. I'm definitely going to hit back on that one of what she said. But at the beginning, she's like, I was just 14 when I first met Elvis. I was in 9th grade. I barely knew who Elvis was. Well, then she goes on to say, I don't even think I had seen any of his movies. Well, I think I had seen one of his movies when I was first 13. Okay, so that's right about the part when I paused and went to rewind it because I'm like, wait a minute. She's 14 when she first met him and didn't know who he was, but yet she went and watched one of his movies when she was 13. Okay, so she contradicted herself on that already. And she was like, well, I kind of knew who he was. Well, I had his record. And, I seen one of his movies when I was 13. She is so full of Tony Baloney, y'all. Bless her heart on so many levels. As we say in the South, y'all, bless this child's heart, y'all. She is so full of it. And if y'all ain't from the South, Google what bless your heart means, darling, because she is Tony Baloney. Woo, Lord child. Woo, the BS was getting deep, y'all. But she goes on to say that she got into her mama's closet, but the outfits that her mama, was trying to dress her up in were too old, too stuffy, too old looking. So she ended up wearing a little sailor dress and some bobby socks and some little heels to go meet Elvis. And, well, the interesting thing is that she barely knew who Elvis was, but she kind of sort of knew who he was. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at with this, y'all? Like, she, like I said, she contradicts herself so many times in this interview. And do y'all honestly believe that as big as Elvis was back then, that she was the glue that was holding Elvis together when she first met Elvis Presley, a grown, already bigger than life star that was 25, a grown 25-year-old man who was huge. Everybody knew who Elvis was back then. By the time she came along and, he met her, and she's like, well, he was just so vulnerable that, because he had just lost his mom a year before. Like, come on, chick. Ain't nobody, I'm not buying it. Well, I'm not buying what she's saying either, because she just trying to, come out playing that she was, she was young. I give her that. She was young, naive, and she was a virgin. And Elvis liked him young and naive and a virgin, But the funny thing is she just tries to play victim. Well, I don't even know if you want to call it victim. She just wants to play that she was just so sweet and innocent and just had no idea about who Elvis was. She knew straight out the gate from the moment before she even met him. She knew exactly who he was. She was probably sitting home like all the other little girls, rewinding his record. Well, not rewinding, but playing it over and over and flipping it over and playing it over some more. She probably had his records all wore out. And then, oh my goodness, she gets a chance to meet Elvis Presley. Woohoo! She was probably thinking, okay, I'm going to try to impress this guy, and not knowing that she would, fall prey to a grown man, because she goes on to say that, that things back then, wasn't quite the way they are today. A lot of things were not acceptable back then. And anything goes nowadays. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know when it was acceptable for 25-year-old man to try to groom a 13-year-old, 14-year-old little girl who's still in high school. Maybe it was a little more acceptable back then, but obviously not, because Anita Wood, she found the letters that Priscilla was mailing to Graceland, because at this time, when he first met Priscilla, he already had Graceland. Like she said, it was a year after when she met him is when his mom had previously passed a year beforehand. Well, so she was writing little love letters to Elvis and sending them off to Graceland in little pink envelopes and stuff. And Anita Wood found them, and Elvis begged her to keep her mouth shut, which obviously she didn't. Who would? So obviously, in that sense, anything was going, who's to say? It doesn't really seem like, okay, if she's going to sit and say that anything goes today, well, obviously anything flew back then too, because we got a grown superstar, 25-year-old man interested in a little high school girl, barely high school, fresh out of middle school. Let's keep it real. This chick was fresh out of middle school. And at some point, as we all know history, she moves off to Graceland. And then in the interview, she tries to play it off like she was the one, as Elvis was off, doing God knows who and God knows what, that she was the little wifey at home, even though obviously they wasn't married quite yet. But when she was living there, when she was only, 16, 17, when her parents left her go, that she was the little, she was playing house, being the little wifey and holding Graceland together. Like, is she for real? Because she says that Elvis Presley, the huge movie star, was so insecure about himself and everything and his manhood and yada, yada, yada. I don't buy that one bit, because he did not seem like he was insecure at all when it comes to his manhood, because he had girls left and right. He couldn't shake them off of him quick enough. She is insane if she honestly believes any of her BS Tony baloney that she's trying to sell everybody. Like she was just a little sweet, innocent girl who just didn't know anything and know any better. Wrong-o. She's full of it, y'all. Anything went back then as well, because the other huge star back then that sang the Great Balls of Fire song, Gary, whatever his name is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I've done plenty of videos, about him as well. I can't think today, though, but he married his, 13-year-old little first or second cousin or some crap. And let me tell y'all what, he lost his fame because of it. So she's not going to sit and say that nothing was flying back then. Okay, yes, it was a different time period. Yes, we all get that. We understand that. But obviously, it wasn't acceptable then, and it sure ain't acceptable now. So I don't know what she's trying to say, trying to, trick everybody into believing that. I mean, let's keep it real here, y'all. And that's who I am, and that's what I'm about. And that's what my channel's all about, keeping it real. She was barely a ninth grader dating a grown 25-year-old man. Now, what's a 25-year-old man got in common with a 14-year-old? And she said in the interview that her parents they were baffled by it. They couldn't understand what her and him would be on the phone for hours, every day, twice a day, some days, talking about. Your guess is as good as mine, because I know what he was up to. He was grooming her, y'all. He was trying to make her into the little wifey that stayed at home while he went and got dirty with everybody else on the low. Yeah. And Margaret and everybody else that he had. He had lots of them, man. He couldn't shake he couldn't shake these girls off if he tried. He had them lined up at his gates, literally at his doorstep. By the hundreds, they probably came in bus loads. I mean, she's crazy. If she's trying to sell us her BS, her Tony baloney nonsense, yo, this chick is bugging. But she goes on to say but she tries to go on and say that just because she was a great listener to Elvis, that's how their whole relationship blossomed into this wonderful love affair, y'all, that we're supposed to believe that really happened. She's bugging. Here's what, in her reality, in her fantasy world, she's trying to sell everybody the fact that, especially the younger generation, y'all, that has no clue and that has parents that are my age, and all I remember is stories and, parents, and I'm like everybody else, that wasn't quite alive yet and, wasn't around listening to his records and that kind of stuff. So these new generation of kids that are growing up, they don't have a clue. So she's trying to sell it to all of them that her and Elvis had this, beautiful fairy tale, horse and buggy, love affair, and it was just the one for the books. BS, Okay. Ain't nobody buying it. Priscilla, please, girl. That's why this man cheated on her left and right with anything that would walk and talk and had a pulse. And she's trying to make us all believe that it wasn't what it really was. He was grooming her. He was, let's keep it real here, y'all. He was a grown man. And even older when they got married, when she was, 21? So, yeah, let's keep it real. She's goofy. Like, even when she was 14 and, off in the army or whatever, and he already had a girlfriend living at Graceland. He had Anita Wood. Did she really, truly, I guess she's really trying to make it out to where, for everybody to believe that there was no Anita Wood in his life. There wasn't no other girlfriends. But, I seen the one little clip of the movie, though, of when she goes to leave because, all the girls were coming to the side door. Woo, yeah, y'all. I don't know what she contradicts her stories so much. That's what's so irritating about Priscilla. I always, liked her. I loved their daughter, Lisa Marie. But don't sit and flip-flop to try to make it what you want everybody else to believe, when the truth of the matter is he was grooming her. He wanted her at home, this young, he even dressed her up. And the funny thing is he tried, if you look at some of the pictures of Elvira when she's all dolled up, and you look at some of the earlier pictures of Priscilla after Elvis got his hands on her and got her all dolled up and make-upped up and dressed up like a Barbie doll, basically. He was dressing her up any way he wanted, but they kind of resembled the big hair. I know the big hair was a thing, I guess, back then. But her hair, he dyed her hair all black, put all the eye makeup. Yada, yada, yada. But it's just interesting. I noticed it today, because it's Halloween, y'all. And, Elvira comes to mind when you think of Halloween, I don't know. But anyways, and I made some, a video about, his first encounter with Elvira, who only was 17, mind you. Ooh, that stuff don't fly now, and it didn't fly back then with Jerry Lewis. Yes, that's his name, y'all. Great balls of fire, y'all. That stuff didn't fly back then when Jerry Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. And it's not even, I don't even think it was the fact that it was his cousin. It was the fact that she was 13. Y'all, it wasn't cool back then. It's not cool now. So the fact that Priscilla is trying to make it seem like they had this fairy tale romance, one of the greatest love story of all time. Womp, womp, womp. We tell it to a deaf man chick. Like, nobody wants to hear. Nobody probably even has went and watched your Priscilla movie. Maybe. I ain't trying to hate on Priscilla, but, I can't stand when people are wishy-washy like that. If you got something to say the truth just one time, because then you ain't even got to say it again. But she just keeps, it's almost like she wants to be wishy-washy so she can keep reinventing her story and keep being irrelevant, kind of like Kim Kardashian always does, to try to stay irrelevant with the younger generation, the newer, hipper, stuff that she just ain't, because she's older and washed up at this point as well. That's just kind of my take on it. Priscilla keeps coming back with different stories and trying to reinvent each story each time she says it, just to kind of stay relevant, just to kind of keep people, I guess, guessing. But ain't nobody dumb. We can go back on YouTube and all the, we can Google anything nowadays and see what you said here, and you said over here, you didn't say the same exact thing. It's like, okay, so which is the truth, lady? I don't know, because y'all know if Elvis was alive, he didn't even want her, using his last name, to, for financial gain, for, being in the media. And, she used to act as well on Dynasty. He didn't want her using his last name then, but it's, funny after he passed away and he's got no say in it. Oh, now I'm Priscilla Presley again, y'all. I'm going to, bank all this money off of, my ex-husband who doesn't have a voice in it. I don't know. And then the fact that she goes on and leaves him first they said she was, doing the dirty on the low with the dance teacher that they had, and then, or that I guess she had, or whoever, I don't know. Maybe Elvis was learning some new dance steps from somebody, but she was supposedly getting it in with him. And then the karate teacher, is the one that, you know, she was like, okay, I'll show him. I'll show Elvis, and I'm going to leave him for, you know, his karate teacher, yada, 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 trying to be cute about it, I guess. When she finally got a little sense to her, or, you know, somebody else paid a little bit of attention to her, I guess. I don't know. That's just my take on it, y'all. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe tomorrow I might have a different opinion because I might see something, you know, another interview from her dumb self. But here's the difference, though. Opinion is one thing, but truth and facts are still truth and facts. Like, she just can't figure out what side of the coin she wants the truth and the facts to really be. I mean, we get it. We all know she was 14 when she first met him, and he was a good 24, 25. Okay, so, hey, I'm just letting it at that. Now, I mean, this video is going a little longer than I was thinking today, but hey, it's all good. You know, like I said, this is just my opinion, kind of my take on the interview that she did back in 2015 versus what she says and does now. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments below about Priscilla always flip-flopping on the truth and everything, and her over-the-top love story with Elvis. Do you really think that it was, you know, her true love, and, you know, she was his real true love? I mean, I know there's been reports about how her parents forced him to marry her, and the Colonel Parker, you know, he was involved as well. Then I heard, you know, his dad. But let me know in the comments. And if y'all are new to my channel, hit that like button. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button, y'all. And don't forget to hit the like and the notifications, y'all. But let me know y'all's comments and thoughts and opinions and everything else in between down in the comments below, guys. And I will talk to y'all in my next video. Bye, guys.